over. This is a group therapy session. Get in the chat. We can all work through this together. We're going to talk about it all coming up next on Blue Collar Bengals. I'm sad.
What is up, Bengals fans? Getting that tweet out. Like Drew said, sad, somber episode. I'm going to spend some positivity into it just because I'm annoying and that's what I do. But our playoff hopes for the first time in a few seasons are dashed by none other than the Kansas City Chiefs, which is a fitting end, of course, because I consider them our biggest rival. I don't know, Drew. I know what you're going to say, but how we feeling?
If I didn't think we'd get a copyright strike on our channel, I would play like "Amazing Grace," like the song I play at funerals. Spend all your time with. We're getting a strike, but it's worth it.
That's Arms of an Angel. That I tell you what, that's why this show fucking works, because we think too much alike.
Oh man.
Oh.
We got Zach in the chat. He says, I effing hate my life. I got to censor it for the first couple minutes on YouTube from what I hear.
Oh, my bad.
Frap Film says, Walter Payton may challenge Karras. Tweet the hell out of that for the next 2 days. Is that Fravor? Yep. I think I just figured out who that is. I think that is Fravor, my buddy on Twitter that I always see at tailgates. I think I put two and two together. Die Hard Cincy Fan 19. All starters should sit out Sunday. And Stranger 420, I think is. I need to figure out if it's Stranger or something else. He gave us a Who Day. It's always going to be Who Day. Darth Bengals here. Keep pumping out those Walter Payton Man of the Year posts. Absolutely do it. Fravor says ding ding. So it is him. I figured it out. Yeah, that was the necklace from our guy Darth doing his thing, spreading the cheer around all the tailgate lots. So,
man. Sit the starters. Okay, you want? Let's go. Let's rip the Band-Aid off. Are you sitting or are you playing pride?
So I put this tweet out earlier. I love you, Ben. I'm glad you're here. I put this tweet out earlier that said guys like Chase, who's banged up and got the shoulder injury, Higgins, who hurt a hamstring, and let's be real, we don't know what his future with the team is. I'd be fine if those guys sat. I think Chase is like 2 catches away from a franchise record, so he's probably going to try to get those and then maybe sit it down. But like, see what we got in Yoshi. Let's send Yoshi on some go balls. You know, if the idea that he is the T. Higgins replacement is real, that people have tossed around kind of since he got drafted, let's go see what we've got with him. Defensively, I mean, I don't think there's really any young guys that you're really looking to see what you have in. I think you kind of know where that's at. So I think that you're probably going to see a lot of guys, especially on the defensive side of the ball, play for pride. And, you know, they can still close the season with a winning record, which, you know, makes your season somewhat of a success. So I think we'll see a lot of the regulars playing. But if you're like a T. Higgins or a Jamar Chase, like T. Higgins might just say, I'm not playing. Like, I don't have a contract. I don't know what's going to happen. And, you know, with Chase, let's just let him heal up a little bit. So that's more along the lines of a game preview thing, but I think we gotta talk through this and let it all out because of what happened on New Year's Eve. Just a fucking dreadful end to the 2023 calendar year and effectively an end to a weird, frustrating season.
Yeah, good point. I did get ahead of myself there. It sucked. It really did. I do take kind of like solace in the fact that we played them as close as we did with Jake Browning and a banged up Chase. And honestly, a defense that's not been itself this year. So playing them that close felt good. man, some questionable calls by the referees, but I don't know. It is what it is. I'm proud of the team. I really am. I think that Jake Browning, he deserves all the praise in the world. I can't be mad at the guy. He did more than any of us thought he was going to do. This game specifically, though, I mean, where do you start? How do you think Jake played?
I think that the way that I got to look at this is I thought we were dead in mid-November. You
Yeah,
know, when I saw the Bengals tweet that Burrow was out for the year, world came crashing down. It was sad. It was hard. And you know what? We played with house money from there on out. Jake Browning had a shitty first start against Pittsburgh. Then he played a great, 3 game stretch. The Monday night win against the Jags was awesome. Uh,
amazing.
Blowing the Colts kind of wide open and then having to get it back toward the end was fun. Coming back on that last minute drive against Minnesota was awesome. Winning in overtime. So like we played with house money. The guy kept us in football games. We had more fun and meaningful football to watch than I think most of us probably expected after Burrow went down. Obviously, I want to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Obviously, I wanted to get in the dance to see what was going to happen. And it sucks that we didn't, but like the guy had never started an NFL game in 5 years. He almost went back to coaching after he got cut from the Vikings, and he stuck around. He worked his ass off. He played football, and he earned himself a spot on the team next year because the Bengals still control his rights. So he's going to be back. He's going to be the backup next year, and I can't do much but give hats off to the guy. I mean, he did way better than I expected he would, and he kept Bengals football fun and interesting for me for a couple, an extra month when I thought we were kind of just cooked.
Yeah, it could have been terrible. I mean, we could have just lost out. You know what I mean? It could have just been absolutely miserable. But he kept us alive through that 3 game stretch. Pittsburgh sucked. This last game sucked. I mean, he came down to earth a little bit this game. 19 for 33, 197 yards with a touchdown. But for him to rip off games with 300 plus yards consecutively, he outperformed any expectation I had of him. So I just honestly just thank you, Jake Browning. Thank you, Jake Browning, for this latter half of this season. It was more than I could have expected. Your hopes do go up though when you're playing like that, and you think, "Wow, dude, we can get in the dance." You know what I mean? We can get in the playoffs. But it's almost it's not better, but it's a little bit of a relief that our season has sort of come to a fruition because I don't know if we were going to win the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? With Jake Browning and the defense we have right now, like, who knows? It would have been a miracle. It would have probably taken a miracle. So it gives this team an opportunity to go into Cleveland, play one last game for pride, and then get ready for the off season. But how about God, Joe Mixon played again. I think you predicted him around 60 to 80 yards, 21 carries, 65 yards, 3.1 average. Brown, Chase, he got in there. He had a couple carries. How do you think the running game looked?
Before I do that, I want to answer this question before it gets lost in the
Oh,
comments because they come in so quick. Zach, I don't know how to pronounce your last name. I'm not going to butcher it. He asked, is this show going to be a thing after Sunday? So we had a conversation before the show about kind of how we're going to approach things once the season ends. We'll still be around. We're not going to be around twice a week, but we got some stuff that I think that we're going to try to continue on with through the off season and have some fun with. So just to answer that before it gets buried in the comments, because I love the hell out of you guys. You guys just keep the comments flowing. A lot of good discussions in there. That's awesome.
yeah.
But yeah, I bet on Mixon to have um, 60 all-purpose yards, essentially rushing and receiving. He ended up with 65 on the ground. Run game was good. It did what you want it to do for you out of the Bengals offense. Some guy was like giving me a bunch of shit in my Instagram comments the other day saying that like Joe Mixon's not a feature back. And I'm like, well, the Bengals offense doesn't really need a feature back. So like, if that's what you're saying, whatever. But it's, I mean, it boils down to you kept the Chiefs out of the end zone the whole second half. I know that the defense gave up some explosives. The big play to Rashee Rice was rough. On came Taylor Britt in his first game back. You gave up some explosives. You couldn't stop Isaiah Pacheco. I said on our preview game, our game preview show Sunday morning, I said if you let Pacheco get going and they establish the run game, things are going to snowball. And I feel like that's exactly what happened. I think Pacheco ended up with 130 yards. So, like, offensively, obviously, you got to put points on the board. You can't get blanked in the second half, but I just, you just don't, you don't know what to expect in a hostile. I mean, it's Arrowhead. It's a hostile environment. Their season's kind of hanging in the balance because they were at risk of missing the playoffs if they lost their last two. And we were just unfortunately somewhat of a get right game for them. And as much as it sucks, as much as losing to that fan base sucks, because I've said this the whole time. I love the hell out of the Bengals Chiefs rivalry. I respect the hell out of the Kansas City Chiefs as a football team. That's why when the Bengals were 3-1 against them or whatever, it was so exciting because of the respect that I have for that football team. But having your season ended 2 years in a row and having to deal with those motherfuckers on Twitter is rough.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. I love the rivalry. A lot of people hate Pat. I think that the gifs of him whining and getting penalties are hilarious. I think he does get calls because he's Mr. Football right now.
Yeah.
But I respect the team. Yeah, 100%. Travis Kelce's a former Bearcat. He talks shit on us. Chase talks shit on them. That's all part of the game, man. It's part of the fight game. It is what it is. I'm friends with a group of Chiefs fans on Twitter, but dude, I hate losing to them.
Where'd you get the Mahomes jersey in that video?
I had a buddy over who was a Chiefs fan, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he had it. It was gonna be that video. Jesus Christ. It was gonna be a hat, but I was like, you know what? I'll just throw the jersey on and embarrass myself with some Taylor Swift music. But that guy's cool. How about them Chiefs? That guy's pretty cool. He's a good content creator. He does live. He does the games live and all this shit. He's good. So that was a fun bet. But dude, a lot of them brutal.
And that's how it is. There's a guy that follows me, Dylan Graham. I don't remember his Twitter name. Super cool Chiefs fan. Love the guy. The Kingdom is a big Chiefs account that follows me. I interact with. They're cool. It's just there's some redneck guy that sent me a message that everything was spelled wrong and it said the Bengals licked assholes or something. And but what I always tell people, Twitter's not real life. I did. There's a guy that I did challenge to a fight last night. Got me on my character a little bit. But that wasn't over the Chiefs game. That was actually, he's a Bengals fan and he was giving me shit over Michigan. I offered to buy his tickets to the game for him to show up. But so maybe I went a little far there, but fuck that guy. So I don't know, man. I don't know what to say. It sucks, but
it does. And
it was house money since before Thanksgiving. So
we're used to winning now and have those expectations with the direction this franchise has come. So losing and being done it's a big emotional letdown. It just is. That year we beat the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game and go to the Super Bowl. I'm sure this is how they felt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This wasn't the AFC Championship game. We don't have Joe Burrow. It was a much worse. It sucked when we lost to them in the championship game last year, but this is a part of the game. You win and you lose. And to go back to football, it's tough to look at our running game and be super proud of it when Pacheco flat out embarrassed us. 130 yards on 18 carries, like you said. Dude, receiving. I think Jamar Chase, what he said in the locker room gets blown out of proportion before this game every single time. Chase he's a fight game guy. He talks his shit. It's funny. It's not crazy or personal. He's not they suck. He's always just they're just guys. I'm going to go play my game. It's just a guy. If you're gonna get all butthurt about that, you're soft batch cookies. But man, 3 receptions, 41 yards. Hudson, 3 for 38. Boyd, 2 for 29, and then 2 for 20. I mean, in the 20s after that for guys. I think if Joe Burrow's behind center, those numbers are bigger, and we win this game.
Yes.
Obviously, I think we win this game by a few touchdowns if Joe Burrow's playing. But that's neither here nor there. I mean, they stopped us. They stopped us. They got Rashee Rice, who I don't know if you ask any Chiefs fans, they've got fucking UDF and Dairy Queen employees catching the ball from Mahomes, but Rashee Rice 5 for 127 with a 25 average. Watson 1 for 41, whatever, 1 reception, still a big one, and then Pacheco is just putting on a clinic too. So what are your thoughts on receiving?
Fuck it. I mean, when T. Higgins comes into the game hot like he did, and then he has a hamstring issue or whatever, it immediately becomes double, triple Jamar Chase and make Jake Browning beat you with Hudson or Boyd and Trenton Irwin, and that became the game plan. And when you're able to just completely take Chase away like that, and you spend the whole second half playing catch up because Harrison Butker couldn't miss. I mean, what did the guy hit? 6 field goals or some shit? I mean, you keep them out of the end zone, but you're still playing catch up because your defense is giving up chunk plays and big drives, and they're getting into field goal range and they're extending their lead. So it's like, and then all of a sudden you're stuck. You got 3 guys on Chase, and the pass protection. I mean, let's just talk about it. It wasn't. It folded in the biggest moments of the game, and just I don't know. Maybe I'm still too sad. I feel like I kind of suppressed a lot of it. So like a real detailed recap breakdown, I'm probably not going to be able to deliver to you today. I've aged 15 years over the course of 2 football games over the last 2 days, so I'm just kind of recovering. My body's kind of just now coming down to regular heart rate, I think. So kind of is what it is, man. Your offense has to put points on the board, and you lose T. Higgins. Jamar Chase is, I mean, he could barely lift his arm over his head. That shoulder's clearly fucking with him, and they're double, triple teaming him. So you're just kind of lost, and then you have nowhere to do. You have nothing to fall back on because Brownings doesn't have the time to extend a play and find a guy that breaks open from man coverage, because I said that nobody really scared me on the Chiefs pass rush except Chris Jones, and then Chris Jones wrecks the game, Karlaftis wrecks the game, and here we are. So, I mean, there's some questions in the chat about the game that I think we could answer, and that would be a good guide for the conversation on this, since I'm so just scatterbrained and still depressed. Ben did say, like the stream if you love the Bengals. That is a good point. If you love the Bengals, click the like button. Chris Ingram says, you are not my supervisor. I don't know what that means, but I am not. You do not to me for anything. So glad we cleared that up. I don't exactly know what that means. Maybe that's a joke or something that I'm missing. I don't know. Fravor said local Tigers are sad. And then this is one where I do want to talk. That intentional grounding call was bad. Now, it's not the reason the Bengals lost the game. Not scoring any points in the second half is more the reason. The defense is more of a reason. But that drive doesn't end on that play. Maybe you can extend things. But Joe Mixon's right there. Browning's getting hit. He's throwing the ball towards Mixon. And this dude replied to my tweets for legitimately 15 hours talking to people like, well, the ball wasn't within 5 yards of Joe Mixon and he didn't turn his head to the left. That's not the fucking rule. That's not how that works. Like, that guy just spent a whole day doubling down on not knowing a fucking thing. But like, I just don't understand how that's grounding. I've watched that play 500 times since it happens, and never once am I like, oh, I could see why they called that. Like, it was bad. And that's not blaming the refs for the Bengals loss. That's not why they lost the game. But as I've said all year about other games and everybody else and Chiefs games, the NFL officiating is a fucking joke.
Yeah. It sucks. It does. That wasn't grounding. It put a pistol to that drive's head and pulled the fucking trigger. It was terrible. You watch our game, you watch the Lions game, you see this horrendous officiating, and again, did it affect the game and the outcome? I think it did. Is it the singular reason we lost? No. Could it have been closer, or could more opportunities occurred had that not happened? Absolutely.
Yes.
But the bad officiating is only amplified when you watch these college football playoff games, especially the later game. But you watch these games, and the officiating is pristine.
It's essentially not a factor in the game and the outcome.
The officiating was wonderful. It was great. Bring those crews up, because whatever we've got going on in the NFL, that dog is not hunting, bro. And the fact that Goodell can sit there in his pressers and say, well, I think it's looked good. Guess what, Roger? Nobody fucking agrees with you, dumbass. It sucks. It's terrible. And the fact that every single week we watch, I don't know how many football games, 32. I do the math, carry the 1, divide by 2, whatever. That many football games, and every week, 1 to 3 of them, we're sitting here going, oh my God, how that call changed the outcome of the game. Means there's an issue. You know what I mean? Chiefs fans have been telling me, shut up, you lost. I know that. I get it. I know that. But were you guys not 2 weeks ago complaining about an offsides call? Right? I mean, and when they come at me, I say, hey, you hate me right now. I get it. But I am saying this for myself, and I'm saying it for you, other fan bases, all of you. All of us collectively as American football, NFL fans deserve better out of these horseshit officiating crews. I'm off my soapbox, but
there should be a war fought over what happened to the Detroit Lions Saturday night.
Unbelievable.
Why the hell else would an offensive lineman sprint up to talk to a ref after his quarterback's like, yo, go declare? And then that's the thing. It's not a Bengals thing. The Bengals season did not end the way that it did because of officiating. There was bad officiating, but that's not the reason. And you go to my Twitter account, it's all Bengals. I'm wearing Bengals shit in my picture. I got Bengals shit in my header. I got Bengals in my bio. So everybody's like, oh, it's a salty Bengals fan blaming the ref. I'm like, no, dude. I've been saying this all year about games that don't have anything to do with the Bengals because it's just bad. But here's the reality of the situation. Roger Goodell can stand up there in his press conference and say, well, officiating is just fine. And it doesn't matter because the NFL loves it. Yeah. Controversy is good for the NFL. Everybody on Twitter is talking about the NFL. Everybody on TV is talking about the NFL. Everybody doing podcasts are talking about the NFL like we're doing right now. It's good. It's good for them. The NFL doesn't give a fuck. There's plenty of ways that it could be fixed. There's plenty of ways that it could be better. Sky Judge, full-time refs, all the stuff that we've talked about. But at the end of the day, it boils down to the NFL does not give a fuck how it does your team because the controversy is good for them.
I'm at a point with Goodell where I'm like, dude, there needs to be term limits or something. It needs to be some kind of elected position between the players union and the owners or something. They come together. There's candidates. There's a election. I'm not kidding. Let's turn it into a show. You can make money off of an NFL. But right now, this idiot that's in charge of everything, sitting here lining his pockets with the owners, he's not going to change a damn thing. He's not changing anything because he's fat, rich, happy, gets to go to the draft and get booed every year. And now he thinks it's funny when actually everyone in that crowd wants to drag him and skull drag him out to the street and get rid of him.
God damn.
I'm done with the guy. I cannot stand Goodell. I ordered that Goodell clown nose t-shirt the moment the game ended. I'm just sick of him, dude. He doesn't change anything. He doesn't change anything.
And the thing about it is, when you look at the Chiefs and Bills game where they were all upset, right? The refs determined that game. He was barely offsides is what they said. Now, that means he's still offside, so maybe it was the right call. But Logan Wilson, Cooper Kupp, Super Bowl. Refs make a game defining call in the Super Bowl. Happened to go against the Bengals. Okay, next season, a very, very, very ticky tack holding call against James Bradbury helps determine the outcome of the Super Bowl. And then this year, it's just been way, way more, even in the regular season, than I can remember. It hasn't gotten any better at all. And I think personally, the only way anything can change is if the Players Association comes together and says something, like something has to happen, because the NFL is never going to care about us bitching on Twitter. Ever, ever, ever. They will never care about fat ass Drew Garrison in Dayton, Ohio saying officiating sucks. They don't. But if a bunch of players sit down in the boardroom and say, hey, our teams are getting fucked over because of this, something has to happen, then maybe they have to listen.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, forget officials changing games. Let's go after fake hip drop tackling. Let's try to change gravity with rules. That's going to make officiating worse. Let's attack that rather than making a good product happen on the field, dude. Right?
Bingo.
We could go all day. I could sit here and drink 10 beers and slur my words and say the same thing over and over again about these referees. I don't have it on. I don't have it. I wish I did. Damn it. As soon as I said that, I'm rocking with the just normal Joey B, but they suck. It needs dealt with. I don't know. Have an election, do something. And then they're like, oh, okay, well, they messed up the Lions call. They won't ref the playoffs. Oh, okay, they're doing something about it. Then I read today, oh, but they're going to ref a primetime Monday night game coming up. You don't give a shit. You don't care. You don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't give a shit.
No free ads. Local chicken restaurant.
What is? Oh, yeah, no.
No free ads 2024, baby.
Let's get in. Go.
I was just going to say, back to Bengals specific stuff. We have the hashtag text from dad. The texts are in. He says it's all about Vegas. There's a lot of rumblings about that. There's a lot of people saying that, and it's getting harder and harder to deny. But before that, he says, get a new offensive line coach who can pick up the blitz. And I'm ready for the Frank Pollock conversation, because the Bengals spend sixth most in the NFL in the offensive line. Volson, I think, is starting to come into his own. People saying get rid of Volson. I don't think that's the right idea. I think he's got one more year to really prove what he can be, because he's shown flashes and he's come along pretty well this year. But maybe we need to start looking at who's prepping these guys during the week.
You're there. Okay. I don't know, man. My brain is still in Kansas City and slowly making its way to Cleveland, dude. Off-season talk is just terrifying to me. But it's got to be something. I text from dad. Probably going to be a new segment in the off season. But
Kevin says we need a button, like an alert button. I'll see what I can cook up.
Uh-oh.
What happened? Ron's frozen. I don't know if the chat can tell me if it's him or me. It's our weekly tech issue. I don't know if it's Ron or me. There's a comment from Chris Tucker, and I still think I know who Chris Tucker actually is, but I can't make the claim publicly. Ron, I think you're
frozen. Up. You're frozen on my screen.
I look good. You look okay. So Chad is telling me it's a Ron issue. You are completely 100% frozen now. Here's our weekly tech issue. Chris Tucker did ask, though, who do you guys think gonna win it, since we ain't? And it might suck to say it. I think Baltimore or Cleveland comes out of the AFC, and that sucks. Nobody in the AFC North wants that. Bengals fans don't want that. Ron is fucking gone. Let me back up my big dumb face. But to answer Chris's comment, I really think that it's Cleveland or Baltimore that comes out of the AFC, and none of us are going to like it. None of us are going to enjoy it, but that is my pick. I don't think Baltimore's the most complete team in the league right now. Cleveland can start 17 different quarterbacks, and they're still going to win. When I look at the postseason picture for that, I think that if Cleveland draws the Colts or the Jags in the first round, which are their two options. I think that they drag the Jaguars. I think that they probably beat the Colts too. And then that might set up a meeting with them in Baltimore. The Joe Flacco revenge story happens. But if I had to guess who I think wins the AFC, it's unfortunately one of our AFC North rivals. Looks like Ron is back. I was asked, Ron, in the chat, who do we think wins it now that the Bengals won't? And I said, unfortunately, I think Cleveland or Baltimore comes out of the AFC.
Yeah, I don't know if you were frozen or I was frozen, but I just figured I'll leave and come back in. Do you mean it? What's it? The Super Bowl?
I think that's probably is what he meant. I took it, I guess, as the AFC. I think whoever comes out of the AFC is going to play the Niners.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's Baltimore. I think Cleveland's punk ass is a first round exit. I got no faith in them. I don't care if Flacco's a feel good story and their defense is elite. Fuck them.
You've been fighting Cleveland fans hard lately.
I like this many. I like this many. They are not very cool. They're fun to talk to. The rest of them, good riddance. Go jump into your flaming river. I don't give a shit.
There's a good amount of engagement baiting going on from some of the bigger Cleveland accounts, but I got some buddies that are Browns fans that are pretty cool about it. So yeah. That's the Twitter real life situation. But I don't want to see Cleveland. I don't want to see Cleveland or Baltimore win a Super Bowl, but I think coming out of the AFC, it's going to be one of those two teams.
It's gonna be Baltimore. I'll put, if I was a totally gambling man, I'd put the money on it. I think they're a unstoppable force right now. I don't know. Miami's not a bad football team, and they put a 50 burger up on them. Like what? I'm
going to say this publicly, and I may lose friends, followers, whatever it may be. If the Cleveland Browns meet up with the Baltimore Ravens in the playoffs, I will root for Cleveland to absolutely embarrass Baltimore 90% because of the fucking Ravens fans on my Twitter.
See, I'm flipped.
Well, yeah, because you're going at it with. I never have had the beef with the Cleveland fans on Twitter ever. That Cam from Canada guy sucks really, really, really bad. But other than that, I've never had any real beef with him. So I don't know. We're flipped, but
I am at war right now. I'm in the trenches. I'm taking grenades. I'm popping up. I'm firing my machine gun as fast and reloading as quick as I can. I'm sure when the season ends and they're out of the playoffs, and I'm simply just going to tweet, or and it'll be over, and it'll be back to, I like Ohio. Let's do this. But
I've always just had this there are cousins up north that we don't really like that much, but a couple times a year we come together for the greater good type thing. So I don't know. I've never really minded them all that much, but I think that. Go ahead.
It was recency bias right now. Like I said to you off camera, it was we lost the game. And the first 10 tweets and the first 15 DMs I got were Cleveland fans telling me I'm a worthless piece of shit. We're a bad franchise. One guy said he would hit me with his car if he saw me. Okay, dude. Whatever. Yeah. I got threatened with vehicular manslaughter. They are the ones that they are the ones right now that have pissed me off. So they're the ones I'm going after. At end of the season, it's all Ohio, and we'll high five again when we play Pittsburgh next season. But I don't know, man. Let's wrap up the game we just played. The defense. Not super electric, but it was bend, don't break, especially in the second half of this Chiefs game. Jordan Battle led the team in tackles, a couple assists. I don't think, outside of that, Hendrickson got his sack, which is great. But outside of that, it wasn't a stellar performance again. I'm trying to be nice. What do you think before we get back into bitching about other fan bases?
So I get all the shit when there's a DJ Turner miscue or a Dax Hill miscue or a shitty Brad Robbins punt because of my Michigan loyalty. So people come to me, I get it. Here's where I'm at on the defense. the youth has to be a lot better next season because Dax played very, very well in the box this season. He's great up close to the line of scrimmage. He struggled with the deep safety play, the stuff that Jesse Bates excelled at. Jordan Battle had a missed tackle on Sunday. The only one I can remember from the guy all year. I think he came in and he played great.
Yeah.
He took advantage of the limited reps he got early in the season, took the starting spot and earned it. I think he's going to do nothing but improve. Bama guy, shout out to him and Jalen. Sorry for your loss the other night, but it be like that. DJ Turner's another guy that I think he's only going to get better. I think he has gotten unwarranted flack from the fan base at times. I think there have been moments where he's been expecting safety help that didn't show up for whatever reason, and he is getting dragged on the internet for. There's some guy that like replies to me like every day telling me how bad DJ Turner is. That's not the case. He's going to do nothing but get better.
Yep.
It's going to be Cheeto outside, DJ Turner outside. Awuzie is probably gonna walk. So I think that if the youth on the defense gets better, i.e., mainly Dax Hill, mainly Jordan Battle, because I think that the Jesse Bates and Von Bell thing, I said all year, like it can't have meant that much to lose them both, right? It clearly has. I think it stopped Lou from turning loose some of those exotic blitzes because he may not trust the guys back there as much as he did before. So going forward defensively, I think Lou will be back. I don't think he's done anything to earn the hot head coaching candidacy that he may have gotten last year. The bulk of your defense is going to be what you've watched this year. I think that Battle's going to start. I think that Dax Hill's going to start. DJ Turner's going to start. Cam Taylor Britt's going to start. Your linebackers are inked up and set. Pratt, Logan Wilson, they're controlling the middle again. Mm-hmm. You've got questions to answer on DJ Reader. I think that it's now time to give up on the Joseph Osai experiment. I hate to say that. I hate to give up on any Bengals player, but the Bengals desperately, desperately, desperately needed another pass rusher on Sunday, and they just did not have it. So I think that is that going to be Miles Murphy? I think Miles Murphy started to come along at the end of the year, and things started to look better for him. So can he be the guy that's number 3 behind Hendrickson and Hubbard? But when you're looking at the Bengals defense, I think realistically you should expect it to be largely the same, but it may be minus DJ Reader. But I like to believe that with the unfortunate injury and how much DJ seems to love Cincinnati, that they're able to strike a deal that works good for both sides and doesn't break the bank to keep him in Cincinnati. But that recovery could bleed into next season. I'm sorry that I've been ranting for so long, but that's kind of my take on the defense.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm not doing mock drafts yet, but like if we are not picking a pass rusher in the first or second round. I mean, shoot me in the head. We got to do something to bolster this pass rush. It needs to exist for more than every other game. Trey can't do everything on his own. I need Murphy to show his first round stuff. You know what I mean? Like I need that now. Like I want to like have other teams like have to game plan for our pass rush next year. So you're right. It wasn't there. Outside of the big giant chunk plays that like killed us in this past game, they didn't let them score. You know what I mean? Butker had a day. Anytime you can hold Patrick Mahomes to 3 points is a good thing. But it didn't fully come together to complete a game. And again, that's partially because the offense really didn't dial much up.
And there's some comments about free agents we would target, guys that we would target in the draft. We're not there yet. I haven't looked into the whole draft prospect list. I haven't looked into the free agent market yet. I'm just kind of getting over it, and we're going to go hang out at Paycor on Sunday, watch one more ride, have a little bit of fun, hang out with people. So can't give that all away now because then why the fuck are you going to watch us for the next few months, right? So we're going to
Yeah.
lock in at least, once a week or so to talk about certain position groups and certain moves that we think could happen. So we're kicking around ideas for that, but I can't give it all away to you now. There's still a week in the season left, so you got to stick
Yeah.
around. Got to stay
Yeah.
with us.
I think if your brain is doing mock drafts and you're on to the next, that's cool. Do your thing. But for me, it's Cleveland week. I don't give a shit that the game doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things for the season. But I'm cheering for pride. Our guys are playing for pride. It's Cleveland week. It's not, the season is not over. That's where my head's at. So.
Well, then I probably shouldn't have made the thumbnail saying that this season is dead because I definitely did that.
It is like after, like we're not going beyond this week. The season is, but we got one more. We got one more to take care of. Let's finish with a winning record and a positive outlook to end the season. I like your idea, because I came into the show knowing this was going to be a topic, and I was fully ready to be of the notion of like, fuck that, everybody play, let's go win it. This is a pride game. But you talked me off a ledge. Like, I get it. Like, let's see what we've got. I like that idea. You talking about like Yoshibas, those guys.
This is the reality of the situation, man. You don't want to go 0-6 in your division. That's embarrassing. That is an embarrassment. The Bengals' record over the last 2 years against the AFC North is not good. But like me personally, and this is just my feelings, everybody is entitled to feel how that they want to feel, but like I would like to not get swept by the division, but like outside of that, like I don't give a fuck, man. Like beating the Browns does nothing for me in the grand scheme of things in this season. I said all year, I'm not worrying about draft position until, while we still have a shot at the playoffs. We don't. So if we lose, I think the Bengals can pick as high as 12, if certain things happen. So, like, go ahead and do that. I don't give a shit what happens on Sunday. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to go down there because I love going to the game. I love hitting tailgates. I love talking to people that I know from the internet, that I've met from Twitter or whatever. And we're going to go to Paycor. We're going to hang out one last time, and I'll cheer on the Bengals. Don't get me wrong. I'm not super invested in however the game ends up, man. It is what it is.
Yeah, for me it's pride. I hate losing, period. So I want them to win, but I'm gonna be there too. It's a fucking terrible game to be my first game back after my surgery, but it is what it is. This is my message. Like, we're both gonna be down there. Like, dude, we're closing out the old 2023. It's 2024. Show up, fans. Don't have empty stands. Don't have an empty seat next to you. Bring a friend. Let's give these guys one last hurrah before they get into the off season, and let's drink beer and have fun, man. Don't
It's
quit
gonna
on
be cheap.
guys. Yeah.
Tickets are cheap. Take the kids.
It's gonna be cheap. I mean, let's have one last party, man. That's all I think. Don't quit on these guys because they're not quitting on themselves. So show up and have fun.
But like, I don't even feel like I get bragging rights because like they're not going to play any of their starters. They're resting. They're locked into the 5 seed. They got nothing to play for. So it's just like I'm purely just going for my love of going to Paycor Stadium because I have a chance to go. There may not be a playoff spot on the line. There may not be anything to play for, but in about a month, I'm going to wish like hell I was back at Paycor Stadium hanging out. So I'm just going to do it, soak it in. But I do know this: if you watch this, the millions and millions of people around the world that are tuned in live right now, and you have anything to do with the parking prices, Longworth Hall damn well better not be $60 fucking to park this week. Come on now, cut us a break.
I agree. I agree. Oh God, I don't know, dude. This sucks. Just show up and have fun, dude. Because like I said, in a few weeks you're gonna wish you were there. So
it is what it is, and I may go to the game and then immediately drive to the airport after to fly to Houston for the national championship game. If any of the companies that I've reached out to on Twitter decide to fund my trip I will tattoo their logo on my forehead.
What?
Got a little bit of a response from TickPick. They said it might be worth it with the way ticket prices are dropping now that Texas isn't in it. So if you want to tattoo your brand right here until I'm fucking dead, I'll probably need like $5,000, something like that. I don't know, maybe less. Tickets are like about $1,200 each. So I did put that out there in the universe.
What
See
if
me going
somebody?
in.
What if somebody says yes? You'll have a tattoo on your forehead.
I mean, if I got to sell my body to go try to watch one of my teams win a championship in person, I'll do it.
I tell you, they're winning. I don't fucking think Washington's beating them. I really don't.
I mean, this isn't a college football show, but
That's true. We'll get you in
I
trouble.
I I lose a lot of followers on Twitter during like Michigan Ohio State week. I'm vowing to not be such an asshole about that because where I'm trying to go and what I'm trying to accomplish is built around the Bengals. So I don't need to alienate the people that once liked me that may not like me.
True.
Um,
I'm in a good spot. I'm in a great spot with these guys right here. So, oh,
what the fuck just happened?
that's why I don't pick up my camera. But yeah, not a college football show. Good luck to you. I think that's great. You've got a team in a championship game. I don't know what else to say. You want to do? No, this isn't the preview show. I'm at a loss. It sucks to not be in the playoffs. What else you got?
Well, my mic stand is now just completely given out. It's just falling over, kind of like the pass protection did.
Here, take mine.
Um, I don't know, man. I don't. Kid is pissed. I don't have much more, man. It sucks. It is what it is. I don't know how do we even preview that game next week where it's like a preseason game. I don't know, man.
We just do. We do. It's for pride, dude. It's for pride. Like this shit is for pride. Well, it'll be interesting to see who they play and who we play, and we'll make some fun out of it.
So my buddy's a Browns fan. He's in here, and I just asked him who he was going back and forth. There's some argument in the comments. He said somebody's going off, but I can't see who it is. I don't know. But all I can say is this season has still been cool as hell for me.
Yes.
A lot of it is because of you guys who are watching this show or follow me on Twitter when I'm being an idiot. So you know what, man? Like that when I look back on it, like the football season kind of sucked. There were some fun moments, but like overall, the Bengals didn't win a Super Bowl. So I look back at that season and I say it sucks. But I got to go to every home game for free because of you guys. We started up this. We've had a lot of fun with it. We've had tech meltdowns. You've been upside down. I've cussed Spectrum 7 ways to Sunday. We get to talk to people in the chat, answer questions. So, like, it has been a fun season regardless. And no loss has ever hit me the same since I watched that ball hit the turf in the Super Bowl in 2021 anyway. Or 20, I guess it was the 2022 Super Bowl. But, like, it just doesn't hit me the same after I watch that ball hit the turf and know that the Bengals just lost a Super Bowl by 3 points and they had a chance to win it. So it's like this is all just kind of I want to see him win one before I die, but like I'm never going to be as pissed off or hurt or upset about a loss or even a season ending as I was with that. So I'm just along for the ride, and I say thank you to everybody that has watched this through this season, everybody that's followed me, helped me get the exposure with some of the cool shit I've been able to do. I just thank you guys, and I love the Bengals, so we're just going to stick around. We're going to talk about it, and when that ring's coming, this guy is bringing a ring. It's going to happen. There will be a Lombardi Trophy in Cincinnati, and these people ain't going to be able to tell me shit.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I ditto everything you said, dude. Season isn't over. We got one more. We're not going anywhere. We're going to be here during the off season. This show is not going anywhere. I imagine it'll look the same. Hopefully, we're attached to something or somebody that helps us make it even better for you guys. That's our goal. But I don't know, dude. I got nothing left but a hooday and fuck Cleveland, dude.
Oh, I do have this before we,
Go.
dude. You and Cleveland are just, hey, good old AFC North rivalry. It is what it is. This is how we all felt on Sunday evening.
Yep. There we go.
Got to show it once a show. I left it in there. I do want to keep the momentum going for Ted Karras, Walter Payton Man of the Year.
Yeah.
This is not only a award for Ted Karras. This would give $35,000 to the village of Marici. That obviously you guys know the Cincy hat benefits them. Cincy hat, big supporters of our show. Give us hats to wear. I didn't wear it today. I got my Ace Apparel hat on. Shout out. They got some golf sales going on for the off season. Hit them up. They're on the ticker. But it's not about getting Ted Karras a cool logo on his jersey. It's not about us bragging that he won it. It's about the fact that it can give $35,000 to a charity that the Bengals community has been supporting from the start. Votes are double today and tomorrow. Tweet the hashtag WPMOY challenge space Karras. That counts as 2 votes. Somebody retweeting it counts as 2 more votes. So people are bitching, I guess. There's a Bengals fan that was bitching about us doing it. Sorry about it. We're going to do it until this is over because it's a great thing that can happen to people in Indianapolis, helping adults with developmental disabilities. And Ted Karras buying people tattoos, and we're going to peer pressure Ted into getting a tattoo. I also gave away a Cincy hat and a Garage Beer shirt. I did a thing to help raise some money. If you donated like $5, you were entered. Brent Hamilton from my Facebook, you won it. He's actually my barber, so he shouldn't fuck my hair up for a while now, but he is an Alabama fan, so I don't know how we're going to do that. But he won on the randomizer, so I'm going to get you a hat and a shirt out. And Ted Karras threw in an autographed Ted Karras printout that's going to come your way. So that's our plug. We don't have a playoff spot to fight for. We can get Ted Karras the award, get some money to a great charity, and end the season on a high note from there. That's my soapbox. I love you all. Ron, your beard looks fucking awesome. I hope you never have to shave it for work.
You're going to be mad. I have to at the end of the month.
No.
I'm going to keep a stash, though. I'm going to keep a stash. It's been fun growing it out, but I got to look professional at the end of this month. But yeah, dude, Ted Karras, just double votes, just hit it hard today, tomorrow. If people mute you for it, then screw them. They're not helping out. Whatever. It's so important to get this guy this award. We have to do it. I think that where does that money come from? That $35,000.
I think now this is just my guess. I know it comes from the it's probably Nationwide. They're the sponsor, so I would guess that Nationwide Insurance puts up the 35 G's, or it's like a collaborative effort between Nationwide and the NFL. I don't know, but I know that
because Nationwide, I won't. Because if it was the NFL, I was going to start dogging Roger again to tell him to open up his wallet and not be a cheap ass, and give more money. Because $35,000, come on, man, let's go, Roger. But all right, good job, Nationwide, love it. Vote. And unless you got anything else, I'll say it again. Hooday, let's go beat Cleveland.
I love you all. Hooday.